Apakah sudah terlihat?
Ya, terlihat.
Oke, ma'am. So, good morning, Ma'am Sylvie and everyone. Today, our group from Group 1 would like to present our statistic test. And today, our materials is about one sample test of mean and one sample test of variance. So, here we use two different data from Scripsy, and this is our group. There are consists of 5 people. The first one is Alicia Wibowo Junarto, Angela Kalista, Johannes Nathanael Sitompul, Naftali Pasca Pramudia Putra, and Rosalia Kulsum. And the first data, we will talk about effect of rice seed assistance on farming income. The background of this calculation is agricultural sector has an important role in the structure of national economic development. The sector is a sector that does not get serious attention from the government in nation building. Many programs are not targeted. However, the sector is what accommodates a large number of workers, and a large part of the Indonesian population depends on it. The purpose of conducting this agricultural seed assistance program is to ease the burden on farmers in assisting capital procurement of seeds and to increase farmers' income.
The objective of this statistic is to find out whether the capital assistance for the procurement of seeds can help increase farmers' income and their welfare.
So our question in this practicum is based on the 58 sample of farmer in Jojo village after being given rice, seed assistant had an average income of 284.909 and the deviation standard is 2.337 and 0.542.243. It is known that the total income of farmers to meet their daily need is 16.791 per hectare. For example, there is a significant effect on the income of farmers after receiving rice seed assistance with the welfare of farmer, so that it can be determined whether this assumption is accepted or not at the 10% significant levels using statistical tests.
Then from the data we can extract to the known. The sample, the total of the sample itself is 58 data, so the n is 58. Then the mean is 16.791.050. Then the sample mean is 306,934 point 306,934.3336. Then the S is 2,237,542.243, and the A is 5%, and S is the sample average. The average is more than 16,971,050. So state the hypothesis. The H null is 16,000 equals 60,791 0.050, and the alternative hypothesis is H1 unequal to 60,791,050. Significance level is 10%, and it's two sides, so the significant level is half of the 0.05. And the statistical test, we're using t-test. T-test is the sample average minus the overall average per ds per the root of the total of the sample. So the sample average is 306,934.3336 minus the overall average is 16,916,791,050 per the S is 2,337,542.243 per the root of 58. We can get the result is minus 53.7056. So the decision is reject H0 if T count is less than minus T table, or T count is more than T table. We get the T count is minus 53.7058 is less than the T table, which is 1.64. So failed to reject H0. The conclusion is the income of farmers after receiving rice seed assistance is getting below the income limit, or below the 16,091,050, so that the income of farmers had not been able to meet the needs of farmers, and farmers have not progressed.
We know that there are significant differences in the income of farmers before and after receiving seed assistance. Farmers' income tend to decrease after receiving the assistance. This is because the quality of the assistance provided is below the superior seeds, so it affects the production and income of the farmers. In conclusion, the seed assistance variable has a significant effect on the farmer's income.
And here is we use the Minitab calculation, and we have the same t value, which is minus 43.71. Maybe there are several different numbers on the t value because of our capability in calculating manuals is not as good as using Minitab. And then, okay, this is the second data that we gonna do is calculation of protein content in Ultramilk packaged milks. And the background is milk is one of the livestock products known as a high nutritional value food ingredients and is often consumed to fulfill the body protein needs. Because it's easy to obtain and the price is quite affordable. Protein are composed of amino acids which contain elements such as C, H, O, and N, which are very important food substance for our body. Because this substance is addition to functioning as the fuel in the body and also function as building and regulatory substance.
The objective of this practicum is to determine the protein content in Ultramilk packaged milk and to find out whether the protein content meets the SNI or Indonesian National Standard requirements.
And the question is based on the example of milk. It was found that the average of protein content in packaged milk gram per 100 gram is 2.92 with a standard deviation 0.0709. Suppose the protein content in Ultramilk packaged milk has met the minimum requirement according to SNI above 2.7 gram per 100 gram. For the 1% significance level, determine whether the assumption is correct or false. So based on the data, we can find N or total sample is the mu or total is 2.7. and the sample standard deviation, we can calculate the data, and the result is 0.0709. So the question is whether the mu is more than 2.7. To solve this problem, the first stage, we determine the hypothesis. The alternative hypothesis is 2.7, and then 2.7. And the second stage, we determine the level of significance. In the calculation, we use 1%. In the third stage, we put all the is known into the formula for t-test. We use t-test because the population standard deviation is not known and the number of samples is less than 30. So the result t-test is 7.6007. The first stage, we can make a decision that the null is rejected because the t-test result is more than the t-table. So the conclusion is the protein content in ultra-milk packaged milk according to SN 2.7 gram per 100 gram. The assumption and then because the T count more than 2 and we need to calculate the mu. According to Hervey, the actual protein content can be calculated by the formula
Okay, sorry ma'am. I think Rosa have internet problem, so I will continue. According to Hervey 2000, the actual protein contents can be calculated with the formula like this. So we get the end result that is 2.92 plus minus 0.1166 gram per 100 gram. And this is the Minitab calculation. We also have the same p-value that we calculate with the Minitab result. So our calculation is almost the same, and we can conclude that the ultra milk packaged milk protein content is enough for our SNI standard.
So the benefit is based on the statistical calculation regarding the protein content in ultra milk packaged milk, which is commonly consumed by public. We can find out that the protein content contained in ultra milk, and we can also find out that the protein content has met the minimum requirements based on Indonesian National Standard Requirements or SNI. That's all from us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you from the first group ya, group 1. Maybe you can share your PowerPoint so I can use by myself. Share your PPT maybe in classroom or in the chat room for this Zoom.
Okay, ma'am.
Jadi nanti biar saya tunjukkan beberapa komentar saya. Overall, you have a great presentation because all of participants in this group have been present in English ya. Tetapi mungkin sebaiknya juga bisa ada penekanan dengan menggunakan bahasa Indonesia untuk hal-hal yang misalkan tadi ya tujuan untuk kasus 1 seperti apa. Jadi mungkin teman-teman agar bisa ada tahu highlight-nya. Sudah di-share?
Ini masih loading, ma'am. Udah.
Oke. Oh iya, mungkin sebelumnya dari teman-teman kelas ada yang ingin bertanya untuk kelompok 1? Oke, ini ya, for the first comment, you have 2 tasks. The first one is one sample of mean, and the second one is one sample of variance. Nah, untuk kasus 1, kalian benar sudah menyajikan yang one sample mean. Nah, di kasus 2, kenapa, mana ya? Nah, ini ya kasus 2 ya. Mengenai produk susu. Nah, from the hypothesis that you use, yang digunakan itu bukan varian tapi mu. Maybe one of you can explain why? Because kasusnya harusnya itu one sample varian. Mengerti yang saya maksudkan?
Oh, itu kayaknya kita yang kurang teliti, ma'am, nulis itunya. Apa, mu-nya.
Bagaimana? Maksudnya ini harusnya sigma?
Iya, cuma maybe karena kan kita habis ngerjain yang one sample test mean. Terus set hipotesis yang awal tuh cuma kita copy gitu, ma'am. Terus cuma kita ganti angkanya biar beda. Terus akhirnya kita nggak sadar kalau itu tulisannya salah.
Oke. Let's go back from the case. Nah, meat is one of the life. Nah, ini ceritanya kayak gimana? Mungkin bisa dijelaskan ke teman sekelas.
Jadi kan kalau susu itu biasanya dicari untuk proteinnya juga. Nah, di sini kita mau tahu apakah susu ini itu punya kandungan protein yang sudah mencapai target dari SNI. Jadi, kalau targetnya SNI itu yang baik sekian, apakah susu ini tuh sudah memenuhi target kandungan protein yang baik apa belum gitu.
Nah, berarti datanya adalah kandungan protein, rata-rata kandungan protein pada susu.
Iya.
Nah, kalau misalkan kadar rata-rata berarti masih kurang tepat dalam digunakan varian. Jadi biasanya yang kita gunakan untuk kasus varian itu adalah ingin mengetahui apakah variasi dari error, misalkan variasi dari data yang digunakan itu variasi, lebih cenderung variasi. Kalau misalkan yang digunakan data kadar protein ini adalah mu, berarti kurang tepat. Atau gimana, Naftali? Kadar protein ini dalam varian atau dalam... Atau saya share yang kasus saya. Nggak ada ya. Nah, itu dulu deh. Yang pertama itu ya. Jadi untuk kasusnya mungkin harusnya adalah kita cari varian. Mungkin ada di sini informasi yang menyebutkan bahwa datanya adalah data varian. Nggak ada ya. Nah, itu untuk yang kasus 2. Kemudian untuk yang kasus 1, kasus satunya mana? Yang tadi,
Sorry, I sent a wrong
oh
file.
benar ini, benar. Kasus 1 itu, nah ini, kira-kira ada yang salah enggak dari penulisan hipotesisnya?
It's our old PowerPoint, ma'am. I sent a wrong one. Ini kan kebalik gitu, masih ini jadi soal kedua.
Iya, tapi yang kalian presentasikan tadi ya tetap seperti ini tadi. Kira-kira penulisannya ada yang salah enggak di sini? Jadi saya ganti. Nah, aslinya tadi gini, Naftali Dio. Jadi H0 itu adalah null hipotesis ya, dugaan. Jadi apakah dugaan kurang dari 16.000 itu kurang tepat penulisannya. Yang diduga adalah parameter of population. We use mu ya. Jadi penulisannya H.2. Kemudian mana ini? Ya, yang betul itu mu. Nah, seperti ini ya. Harusnya. Nah, kemudian kalau dari kasus 1 ini ingin diduga apakah rata-rata apa ini? Pendapatan petani setelah dia mendapatkan bantuan ya?
Iya.
Ternyata dia, nah ini ada perbedaan antara perhitungan manual dan software. Benar ya Naftali, kok bisa ya ada perbedaan perhitungan manual software? Karena harusnya software itu di develop berdasarkan manual programming, manual perhitungan, jadi harusnya sama. Nah, Z value dia bilang minus 53,71, have same result as manual counting ya 53,71, tetapi ketika p value-nya di sini p-value-nya 1 atau 0 ya? Oh benar 1, berarti benar fail to reject ya, Naftali ya?
Iya,
oh berarti benar. Oh tadi waktu kamu menyampaikan ada perbedaan kalau nggak salah ya?
Karena itu filenya salah, ma'am.
Filenya salah.
Yang saya kirim ke chat ini tadi itu belum saya save kan. Karena di pagi kita habis revisian sedikit.
Oh oke. Berarti secara keseluruhan berarti sama antara perhitungan manual dan software. Nah ini sudah benar untuk yang kasus MIU ingin mengetahui apakah pendapatan petani setelah mendapatkan bantuan itu menaikkan atau menurunkan. Ternyata dia gagal tolak A0. Kalau gagal menolak A0 berarti pendapatannya kurang dari ini 16. Kalau 16 juta ya. Per hektar. Ya titik kan ini ya, berarti 16 juta per hektar. Nah, mungkin kalau dari saya revisinya mungkin yang kasus 2-nya bisa dicari lagi untuk yang kasus one sample varian ya, Dio and friend ya. So you have revisi for your task group ya. Nah, kalau secara keseluruhan sudah benar cara penyampaiannya, background tujuannya apa, latar belakangnya apa, kemudian objektif tujuannya adalah untuk mengetahui apakah memenuhi standar SNI atau tidak, kemudian menyatakan statistical test, kemudian show your data that all of you use. Nah, kemudian dari data you know all of the parameter and mu, x bar, and so on. Sudah benar ini. And also you have same result from your manual counting and Minitab software. Dari saya cukup seperti itu. Silakan kelompok 1 mengakhiri presentasinya.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for everyone attention. We're sorry if we have some mistake and we will improve it next time. And that's all for us. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you from the first group. So we go on the second group. Anggotanya ada Nasrul Akbar, Gusti Ayu, Latifatu Ahfa, Rahel, and Paulus. And the material is 1 sample proportion and 2 sample of mean which varian known atau varian diketahui. Silakan kelompok 2.
Okay, good morning everyone, good morning ma'am, and good morning friends. Today I am very thankful because we can join and gather in this meeting. Today we would like to present about the topic 1 sample test of proportion and 2 sample test of mean with variance known. Next. These are our members. They are Gusti Ayu, Latifatu, Nasrul, Paulus, and me, Rahel. First, the first topic is 1 sample test of proportion. If I'm not mistaken, this topic is also in Walpole's book, page 360. Maybe you can check it out. Okay, so the first is point estimate. We estimate the proportion, or P, as P equals X per N, where X is number in the sample who have the trait or outcome of interest, and N is the size of the sample. And the hypothesis test is the first null hypothesis. H0 is P equals P0. And the second one is alternative hypothesis. H1 is P is not P0. Okay, next. To perform this test, we need to first estimate the population proportion by the sample proportion. And the second, we calculate the following test statistic. Next.
Food is a daily necessity for a human being to live. Food is one of the most important things for human. That is because food is the energy source for human. But even though human need food, we need to be wary of what we eat. Because if we do not wary and be careful in what we eat, we can possibly get a food poisoning. Food poisoning will make human feel sick. It can be dizziness, vomiting, stomachache, etc. On this occasion, we discussed about testing hypothesis of the probability that random individual who ate beef curry could have during poisoning. The objective is of this idea of testing for proportion groups with different exposures. In the outbreak dataset, 447 out of the 998 individuals who ate beef curry were observed to have food poisoning symptoms. And one may want to test the hypothesis that the probability of a random individual who ate beef curry having food poisoning is 0.1. So these observations are made to sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me continue. And then we have the null hypothesis, which is the proportion of individuals who eat beef curry and get sick is 0.1. And the alternative hypothesis is the proportion of individuals who eat beef curry and get sick is not 0.1. Next slide. From the data, we know that the X is 447, N is 998, and the P0 is 0.1. And then we estimate the proportion using P hat equals to X per N, and then we enter the numbers, and then we get the proportion. The estimate proportion is 0.4479. And then we do the statistical test, which is first the hypothesis, which is null hypothesis. The proportion of individuals who eat beef curry and get sick is 0.1, which the true P equals to 0.1. And the alternative hypothesis is the proportion of individuals who eat beef curry and get sick is not 0.1, with the true P does not equal to 0.1. Next is the significance levels, which is alpha equals to 0.05. And then we did the statistical test, which we use z-test, and then the test is done by p hat minus p true P per, as you can see there, P0 times 1 minus P0 per N. And then we enter all the data, and then later we get the Z score equal to 36.635. And then we get to the decision, which the rule is reject null hypothesis if the calculation is more than z alpha minus per 2. Because the calculate, which is 36.635, is larger than our z table, which is 1.96, so our null hypothesis is rejected. And then we search the confidence interval, which is seen below. And then we got the confidence interval, which is 0.417 and 0.479. And then we conclude the proportion of individuals who eat beef curry and get sick is not 0.1. The estimated proportion of people who ate beef curry and get sick is 0.4479 or 0.448. With the significance levels of 95%, the confidence interval is 0.42 and 0.48.
And next, we're gonna check in the Minitab. First, I'm gonna show you the step how to use one proportion test and many step. First, we have to open statistic menu and click basic statistic and choose the one proportion test option. If we choose the one proportion test, then there will be some pop-up like this at the screen. And we have to choose the summarize data option, not the first one, because we only have the number of trial and the number of incident. Next. Then we have to fill in the data that we got, in the number of event. From the data, we can get the number is 447, while the number of trial is 998. And the hypothesis proportion based on the data that we got is 0.1. And then click the option and we have to fill the confidence level based on the data, which is the confidence level is 95.0. And the alternative hypothesis is not equal to hypothesis proportion, and the method is exact. Next. And if we click OK in the previous step, the result will be like this. We have p-value which is 0.0, that not in 1, which is we reject H0 hypothesis. So the proportion of individual who eat beef curry and get sick is not 0.1.
Next is the benefit. Our observation does not have to be beneficial, rather than to prove if the assumption is right or wrong. Besides this inference, long-term decision can certainly be made from the data that we got, such as doing prevention, the emergence of poisoning problems due consumption of beef.
And in this slide, we have two sample tests of mean with variance known. The concept is, you can see as follows: degree of freedom, statistical confidence intervals. We can move to the next slide, please. Yes. Okay. And this observation, we know there's some problem we face, especially in recently in Indonesia. There are a lot of people that like dates atau kurma, especially in Ramadan month. A lot of people searching for dates for breaking their fast. But as we know, in dates, there is a thing called TPC, which is stand for total phenolic content, which means it's indicated the phenol content in dates. As we know too, phenol are a harmful thing to body and higher concentration, so it can cause irritation, etc. And this test is done so we can know which one have more TPC in the dates. So the objective in this observation, we use the honey dates as the first sample and the zahidi dates as the second sample. The objective of this idea, the first example, you can see here,
with the data we have, and we state the hypothesis, it's null and it's 1. We can move to the next slide. Okay, next. Yes, and this slide, we know the mean of the sample 1 is 1.7486, and the S for the sample 1, which means standard deviation, we can know from this, we know the variance 2. In the next slide, we will see in the next time. So, and the mean of the second sample is 3.846, and the standard deviation as follows: a number of sample for the first sample and for the second sample is M, and we assume that D0 is 0, and the SP here, it means the weight average of the standard deviation in the comparison groups, and from both sample. And in the next slide, we state hypothesis, it's known as 0 because yes, we need to do some statistical test to conclude if our hypothesis is right or wrong, and with using significant levels 0.05 with one side tail. And as you can see, this is the statistical test terms we can use in the manual statistical test. And also in the next slide, we can see, please move to the next slide, Azza. Yes. The rule here, we can reject it's 0 if the t we calculate here is greater than t on the table. Because in the previous slide, we know the t we calculated is greater than t in the table, so its null is rejected. And this is the confidence interval terms that you can see to prove our conclusion. And the conclusion, because the null hypothesis is rejected, we enough evidence to claim that sample mean or mu1 is different than sample 2 as we think as hypothesis in the previous slide. So we can move to the next slide. And this is the Minitab calculation, as my friends want to tell.
Next is for how to use Minitab for this case. First, you must open your Minitab and then open statistic menu. Click the basic statistic and choose display descriptive statistic like the picture on the screen. Then fill the variable that you got. After that, you can choose the descriptive statistic that will be searched, like mean, SE of mean, standard deviation, and variance. And this is the result, like the picture on the screen. Next, open again the statistic menu and click basic statistic and choose to sample T. And after that, fill the sample column with the data that you got. For this case, our group is use data sample 1 for honey and sample 2 for ZD. Then open again statistic menu and click basic statistic and choose to sample T. So you can click OK, and then the result is like this for worksheet 1. From the result, we can conclude that mu1 is not greater than mu2.
And yeah, that's all from our calculation and the benefit our observation. There are some benefit from this data. We can conclude that which one on the dead sample have TTC and the dates. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you from the group 2. I think it is a great presentation because all of the slide explain clearly. Maybe I have no question from the group 2. Maybe the class participant, if there any question for the group 2. And maybe I have one question, only one question. From the second step of Minitab in 2 sample test, now you can check your manual counting of statistical test, 2 sample tests before this slide. Previous slide, please. Nah, you have the calculation 12,995 ya. And then for the Minitab software, output of Minitab software, nah, on the output of Minitab software, you have the value is minus 13,01. Maybe one of you can explain why there are different value between manual counting and the output of Minitab.
Ya, Mem. Boleh bahasa Indonesia ya?
Ya, boleh, nggak apa-apa.
Jadi kalau menurut saya kemungkinan ini karena kalau kita secara manual kita melakukan pembulatan pada nilai koma-komanya. Jadi ada sedikit perbedaan gitu sih, Mem.
Oh, but you have a same decision ya? Coba cek lagi decision from the manual statistical test. Null rejected. Okay, the decision from the manual statistic is null rejected, and then from the output of Minitab software. Nah, okay, Paulus, maybe you can explain again. This output of Minitab software from the p-value we have 1.0. What is the decision from the p-value? Or maybe Nimade or the other participant of the group 2?
Yes, ma'am. So based on this test, the output of the Minitab test, we got the p-value as 1. As we can see, the null hypothesis is equal to 0, which means p-value is bigger than the null hypothesis, which means we reject the null hypothesis. So we accept the alternative hypothesis.
Okay, Paulus, your decision from the p-value is reject H0. Is that right?
Yes.
Benar ya? Ada yang ingin menyampaikan pendapat lain? Mungkin dari semua partisipan kelas, apakah benar bahwa ketika p-value itu untuk p-value 1 itu reject H0? Maybe I can call from the group 1, Dio maybe. Dio, menurut kamu p-value nilainya 1,00, the decision apakah reject H0 or fail to reject H0?
Kalau 1 kayaknya reject H0, ma'am.
Reject H0 ya dari Dio. Nasrul, what is your opinion about p-value and the value is 1.0?
Based on what we discussed yesterday, that still the conclusion is we reject H0.
Oh, reject H0. Oke, mungkin saya bisa share screen. Oke, one sample test. Bentar ya. Nah, dari satu contoh sampel proporsi, ketika kita punya output p-value, jadi p-value itu dari output ya, itu cara penentuan atau decisionnya ketika p-value kurang dari alfa, maka dia reject H0. Tadi alfanya berapa alfa? Alfanya untuk kasus kamu?
0,05.
Nah, 0,05. Your p-value is 1,0. Nah, apakah kesimpulannya benar ketika 1 kurang dari 0,05 adalah reject H0? Alpha? 1 ini 1,00 itu less than or greater than alpha.
Greater than.
Nah, greater than alpha. Jadi harusnya dia adalah fail to reject H0. Nah, ternyata masih ada. Kalau dari kelompok 1 tadi kan punya kesimpulan yang sama antara Minitab dan juga manual test ya. Tapi kalau ini tadi untuk yang proporsi ya. From the proportion case, we have Z 36. Nah, H0 is rejected. Nah, your p-value ini benar. Ketika p-value-nya 0 adalah reject H0. Nah, ini kan benar ya. Kalian reject H0 karena p-value 0,00. Nah, untuk yang kasus 2 kurang tepat ya. Paulus ya. Benar nggak? Atau saya masih salah melihatnya?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We are wrong.
Oke, thank you. Oke, ada pertanyaan dari teman-teman kelas? secara keseluruhan sudah bagus sekali karena kalian menuliskannya secara jelas ya, step by step, and bagaimana kalian mendeliver background, objective, and your conclusion, and also pemilihan kasusnya itu saya senang soalnya ini kasusnya adalah cara mengetahui apa tadi ya, yang pertama proporsi yang setelah makan beef curry kemudian dia keracunan kayak gitu ya. Kemudian yang kedua adalah mengenai perbedaan TPC. Nah, kalau TPC itu kalian juga melakukan tes ya di FTP itu ya. TPC itu apa sih? Kadar yang ada di dalam kurma ya. Itu kalian yang untuk mendapatkan datanya itu kalian ya yang ngetesnya.
Kalau yang ini kita datanya dapat dari
enggak, maksudnya
buku.
Untuk ya saya tahu kalau datanya dari buku. Maksudnya job desk kalian sebagai nantinya dari FTP ITP itu nanti kalian juga akan bagian ngetes ini ya TPC-nya atau bukan?
Yes, ma'am. And the biochemistry.
Gimana?
And the biochemistry subject.
Oh, ada ya memang ya.
Yes.
Iya. Oke. Terima kasih untuk kelompok 2. Mungkin bisa ditutup presentasinya.
That's all for this topic. We are sorry if there are some mistakes. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you for the group 2. And then the last group for today, group 3, consists of siapa ini? Rehan Syam, Neyara, Latansya, Nalita Livia, Emeralda, and Andin Aulia. And the topic for the group, for the third group is 2 sample tests of mean, which variance unknown, and 2 sample tests of variant. Please, group 3, you can start your presentation.
Oke, mungkin Nevara bisa di slideshow, tolong di slideshow. Good morning everyone. Glad to see you all. Let us introduce ourselves. We are from group 3 with the member me Andi. We would like to presenting our topic. We have 2 topic. For the first topic is to sample test of mean, and the second is to sample of variance. For the first topic, is to sample test of mean, which variant unknown. It has background. Indonesia is a country in the world that depends on the agricultural sector as a contributor to national income. Agriculture plays an important role in the entire national economy. This can be shown from the number of people or workers who live or work in the agricultural sector from national products derived from the agriculture. Rice is one of the products of agriculture from the food crop subsector. Rice is also the most important cultivated crop in world civilization, especially in Indonesia, because rice is a rice producer, where rice is the staple food ingredient and is a source of calories for the most of Indonesia's population. Rice-growing areas in Indonesia are spread across the island of Java, Bali, Madura, Sulawesi, and Kalimantan. In the agricultural sector, foodstuffs in Banda Regency, Central Java have increased from year to year. For the first topic, source we got from analisis produksi padi di Kabupaten Kendal, studi kasus Kecamatan Limbangan, Kabupaten Kendal, Diponegoro Journal of Economics. And we can move to the next slide. Nefara, please move to the next slide. Okay, for the objective and the benefit is the objectives of this testing is to analyze the production of rice produced in Limbangan District, Banda Regency. And Ma'am, I'm sorry, kayaknya ada trouble di presentasinya Nefara.
Silakan diganti saja yang bagian share screen.
So here's the problem solving by statistical test. First, we have to state the hypothesis. The null hypothesis for this problem is mu1 minus mu2 equals 0. And the alternative hypothesis is mu1 minus mu0 is not equal 0. And the significance level for this problem is 5%. And to cite, first we have to calculate the SP, which is the square root of n1 minus 1 times s1 square plus n2 minus 1 times s2 square divided by n1 plus n2 minus 2. Here we have the result is 1260. And then we calculate the t value. For the formula is x bar 1 minus x bar 2 minus d0 divided by sb times square root of 1 per n1 plus 1 per n2. And we have the result is minus 0.63. The decision for this problem is reject null hypothesis if the t count is greater than the t table, because the t count that we have is minus 0.63 is lesser than the t table, which is 2.306. So we failed to reject
A0. So the conclusion is we accept the A0. R we can we can compare with the from our calculation from Minitab on the left. We have the t-value which is the same, minus 0.63. Yeah, that's it.
So the conclusion is Handel is accepted. The production of rice produced in Limbangan district means in 2007 is the same as in 2008.
And the second is two-sample test of variance. Chicken eggs are a good source to second animal protein after fish. Egg prices, affordable and high nutritional value make eggs one of the food ingredients which is often consumed by the public. However, now it has emerged the modified egg has a higher nutritional value, namely eggs which contains omega-3. That part distinguishes ordinary eggs from omega-3 eggs is a slightly reduced easily. The source is from Uzami, Ahmad, Oki, and Friends, 2016, from aplikasi identifikasi citra telur ayam omega-3 dengan metode segmentasi region of interest berbasis Android dari Jurnal Teknologi dan Sistem Komputer. The objective and benefits. The purpose of this study is to produce software that can visually identify common types of eggs or omega-3 eggs. Detection of egg types done using matching eggshell texture based on data research. Here is the data we use.
So now we try to solve the problem by using statistical tests. We can use Minitab software. So we can know that from the sample 1, the total number of sample 1 is 2 with standard deviation 31.59 and variance 997.928. And for the sample 2, also have the total number of data is 2 with standard deviation is 28.51 and also variance 812.82. Then we can use the null hypothesis is variance 1 square per variance 2 square equals 1. And the alternative hypothesis is variance 1 square per variance 2 square is not equal with 1. Using alpha equals 0.05. We can know that the degree of freedom is 1 and the degree of freedom for the sample 2 is also 1. The p-value is 0.935. From this Minitab software output, we can know that we can reject null hypothesis if p-value is less than significance level. We can know that the p-value is 0.935, which is greater than the significance level, that is 0.05. So it is failed to reject null hypothesis. And also, we can solve the problem by using manual statistical tests. First, we have to state the hypothesis, which is null hypothesis is variance 1 square equals variance 2 square, and the alternative hypothesis is variance 1 square not equal with variance 2 square. And we also use the significance level is alpha equal 5%, which is one side. And then we proceed to the next step, that is statistical test. We use the F, which is variance 1 square per variance 2 square. And then we can know that is the answer of F is 1.507. The decision is reject null hypothesis if F count is greater than F table. Because the F count is 1.507, which is less than F table. We can know from the table F, it is 191.4476. So it is failed to reject null hypothesis.
So the conclusion is fail to reject null because p-value is greater than alpha and F count is less than F table, so we can conclude that the standard deviation 1 is equal to standard deviation 2.
Okay, thank you for the group 3. From the class participant, maybe you have any question for the group 3? If there is no question for the class participant, maybe the group 3 can stop your share screen, and then I want to share by my screen from your PPT. Okay, PowerPoint from the group 3. You have two cases, yeah. The first is two sample of mean, and the second one is two sample of variance. Now, from the two sample of mean, now, especially your case is variance unknown. Variance unknown. Nah, dari varian tidak diketahui apakah benar penggunaan statistical testnya menggunakan S-pool ya, Emeralda. Kalau S-pool sudah dijelaskan di grup 2 ya, sepertinya ya, untuk varian yang diketahui.
Iya, ma'am.
Ya, Pak Paulus tadi pakai S-pool karena varian diketahui. Mungkin bisa diceritakan ulang kasus yang ingin diambil itu mu-nya apa?
Kasus yang ingin diambil tuh mu-nya hasil panen dari padi.
What kind of mu? Hasil padi itu kan banyak. Nah, kalau misalkan tadi di grup 2, TPC, kandungan TPC dalam apa? Kemudian di grup 1 tadi kan kandungan susu dalam miligram. Nah, menyatakan mu itu harus apa ya, should be in harus punya satuan. Jadi dia itu punya satuan specifically. Jadi kalau misalkan rata-rata dari padi, hasil padi, nah itu kan dalam tanda kutip saya tidak tahu apa ini yang diukur, harus jelas. Paham maksud saya ya? Di kelompok 3 Rehan tadi yang ngasih tanggapan. Rehan, thank you for your response. Tadi adalah mu dari hasil panen. Kira-kira satuannya apa? Yang diukur apa? Kurang tahu, Rehan.
Sebentar, Mem.
Oh iya.
Kalau dalam data yang kita cari itu satuannya ton.
Nah, mungkin itu akan lebih spesifik dan secara cara menyatakan H0 akan lebih tepat. Jadi H0 mu 1 kurang dari mu 2 atau berat ya, berat. Nah, berat padi ya, berat padi dalam ton di tahun 2007 versus 2008. Jadi berat padi dalam ton untuk Kendal ya. 2007-2008. Tahun 2007 tidak sama. Kalau sama dengan itu berarti ada perbedaan atau tidak ada perbedaan? Tidak ada ya, sama ya, sama
ya,
dengan tahun 2008. Benar ya Rehan ya? Jadi untuk menyatakan hipotesis agar kasus kita itu clear, jadi harus dinyatakan secara jelas. Kemudian H1 juga demikian. Berat padi dalam ton untuk tahun 2007 tidak sama. Nah, tidak sama dengan tahun. Nah, kemudian pakai 2. Nah, statistical testnya ini ya, saya share. You can also check your PDF Walpole ya. Jadi ketika kita punya case varian sama, varian diketahui atau varian sama itu pakai ini S-pool, kita akan hitung S-pool. Tetapi karena untuk kelompok 3 variannya tidak diketahui, maka kita bisa langsung menghitung T. Jadi sebenarnya langsung menghitung T tanpa perlu menghitung S-pool. Seperti itu. Nah, kita cek lagi. Hasilnya, perhitungannya adalah minus 0,63. Tapi hasilnya sama ya. Andin hasilnya sama ya, ternyata ya Andin ya.
Yes, ma'am.
Iya, kok bisa ya? Mungkin nanti juga coba saya cek ya perhitungannya, tetapi secara perhitungan Minitab dan software dia menunjukkan hasil yang sama. Padahal seharusnya statistical testnya itu kita tidak menggunakan S-pool. Nah, kemudian kesimpulannya dia adalah fails to recheck, sudah benar, fails to recheck H0. Nah, penulisan untuk conclusion itu apa ini? Nah, means untuk apa? So the means in 2007. Nah, means untuk hasil panen padi ya. Nah, seperti ini kan lebih hipotesis tuh harus punya satuan, harus benar ada satuannya. Jadi means tadi awalnya kan dituliskan rata-rata di 2007 loh, rata-rata apa gitu kan ya. Sebagai orang awam kita juga bertanya-tanya nanti rata-rata apa yang dites, jadi harus spesifik menjadi rata-rata hasil panen padi dalam ton. Nah 2007 sama dengan hasil panen padi 2008, seperti itu ya. Kemudian for the second problem adalah kalian tidak punya datanya, jadi pakai summary ya, pakai summary. Kalau yang first problem kan pakai dataset. Nah ini maksudnya ini ya, ini datasetnya kalian punya, jadi ketika kalian run di Minitab bisa langsung. Kemudian untuk yang kedua, ini kalian lebih dari jam ya ternyata. Ada kuliah lagi enggak ini Natali? Dio?
Nanti jam 10.15 ada kelas pengganti kita.
Oke. Saya percepat. Nah ini punya karakteristik. Nah ini juga to sample of varian. Saya lupa anggotanya tadi. Coba Emeralda. Untuk yang kasus varian ini ingin mengetahui apa variannya apa dibandingkan apa.
Kenapa Bu tadi suaranya putus-putus?
Oke. Untuk yang kasus kedua, untuk mengetahui tujuannya tuh untuk mengetahui varian apa dibanding apa.
Kalau menurut saya untuk mengetahui itu kayak perbandingan kandungan omega 3 ya. Varian kayak yang di telur ini ada kandungan omega 3-nya atau tidak, Bu?
Varian kandungan omega 3 di telur itu variannya sama atau tidak. Oke, ini ya ternyata datanya ya. Ini standar deviasi. Sigma 1 sama dengan sigma 2, sigma 1 tidak sama dengan sigma 2. Nah, ini juga mungkin jenis satunya itu apa. Nah, kan kalian ingin membandingkan, sudah benar ini satuannya adalah omega dari telur. Nah, kemudian kasusnya mungkin dirigidkan. Untuk yang satu itu maksudnya apa? Citra 1. Maksudnya data 1 itu yang dibandingkan omega varian dari telur apa dibandingkan telur apa. Jadi lebih ketika mengambil kesimpulan nanti lebih spesifik ya. Nah, kalau ini kan sigma 1, sigma 2 kurang tahu ya, berarti kandungan variasi kandungan telur 1 sama dengan varians gimana ini mestinya, variansi omega kandungan telur 1 sama dengan variansi omega kandungan telur 2. Sudah benar. Nah, kemudian benar. Nah, ini kira-kira Emeralda dari hipotesis null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis, is that right that significant level is on one side? Emeralda, Nalita, Nevara. Halo? Group 3?
Mohon maaf, Mem, itu untuk yang one set itu kita nggak terlalu paham, jadi kita ngikutin.
Oke, jadi permasalahan one side two side itu tergantung dari alternatif hipotesis. Ketika kalian punya alternatif hipotesis itu tidak sama dengan, maka kalian untuk signifikan levelnya adalah 2 arah. Tetapi kalau misalkan di sini diganti kurang dari atau lebih dari atau kurang dari, maka dia adalah one side, salah satu sisi. Kenapa dikatakan salah satu sisi? Karena kan dia membandingkan sigma 1 lebih besar, berarti kan sisi 1 lebih besar. Nah, itu makanya dia one side atau sisi 1 lebih kecil. Sedangkan kalau tidak sama dengan, bisa jadi dia itu punya 2 arah. Kan kesimpulannya akhirnya variansi omega kandungan telur 1 itu tidak sama dengan. Nah, tidak sama dengan kan dia mengarah ke 2 arah. Apakah bisa jadi, kalau tidak sama kan berarti telur 1 bisa jadi kurang dari telur 2 atau telur 1 lebih dari telur 2, seperti itu. Nah, apa sih Bu, kenapa sih sampean kok harus menyatakan alfanya ini one side two side? Nah, ini adalah pengaruh di pada saat kalian penarikan keputusan, penarikan decisionnya ini. Nah, ketika alfanya yang digunakan one side, harusnya two side, nanti dia bisa jadi harusnya fails to reject menjadi reject, kayak gitu. Kayak gitu ya Nevara ya. Nah, kemudian, nah ini juga ada perbedaan hasil. Tes statistiknya hasilnya 1,23, F-nya hasilnya 1,507. Nah, kemudian untuk conclusion-nya kan di pertemuan sebelumnya pernah saya bilang bahwa untuk penulisan kesimpulan itu harus merujuk ke kasus. Kalau ini kan berarti fail to reject Hano because P value greater than alpha and F count is kurang dari F table. Nah, equal, nah ini harus dituliskan merujuk ke kasus. Berarti kandungan apa tadi, omega telur 1 sama dengan telur 2. Nah, seperti itu ya untuk kelompok 3 ya. Ada pertanyaan dari kelompok 3 mungkin?
Belum ada, Men.
Oke, terima kasih. Thank you for your response. Silakan diakhiri untuk kelompok 3 sesinya.
Okay, that's all from us. Kurang lebihnya mohon maaf. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, 3 group have been present there. Nah, anak saya sudah nangis ini. Presentasi sudah untuk 3 kelompok. Nah, sebenarnya yang saya ingin tekankan adalah kita sama-sama belajar ya. Kayak saya tadi belajar, kalian luar biasa tadi dalam menyampaikan dalam bahasa Inggrisnya tadi ya, misal di kelompok 2. Itu kan sangat clear ya, penyampaiannya clear mulai dari background, kemudian tahapan di Minitab dan seterusnya. Nah, kemudian saya tidak ingin menghakimi, jadi kelompok 1 salahnya apa, kelompok 2 salahnya apa, kelompok 3 salahnya apa, adalah saya lebih ke bagaimana kita belajar sama-sama. Kadang-kadang kita belajar dari suatu kesalahan, jadi untuk mungkin kedepannya kalian tidak salah dalam misalkan nanti bekerja, kemudian atau di tugas akhir dan seterusnya. Jadi kalau misalkan ada yang kurang berkenan, mohon dimaafkan ya, karena tujuan saya tidak ingin menyalahkan setiap kelompok, tapi kita ingin mendapatkan pelajaran bersama. Mungkin itu yang bisa saya sampaikan. Karena melebihi waktu, saya mohon maaf. Untuk hari Senin, Naftali, please help me untuk menyepakati ya, apakah maunya sinkron atau asinkron. Oke, thank you. Anak saya sudah nangis, mohon maaf saya nggak konsen. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.